go. Ayy, turn me up. Danni Bee, let's go. We ain't just talking, we healing for real. Pressure made diamonds, now watch how we build. Boss shit energy, standing on 10. Every setback turned into a win. Big fake, big goals, no shrinking around here. Still looking pretty while we face every fear. Sis, fix your crown, don't let it tilt. We ain't chasing perfect, we becoming built. Mind right, heart right, talk with a purpose. God did the work and it's finally surfaced. Real conversations, no filters, no fluff. If you came for the truth, then you came to the right spot. Bad little vibe, but I'm healing still. Lost up, baby, that's beat, coming well. Leveling up, can't stay where I feel. Welcome to the movement. Becoming well.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Becoming Well podcast, where I am your host, Danni Bee. And this week, we're talking about identity. Woo! Right? I know identity can sound like a boring topic, but believe me, it's not going to be boring. So we're going to jump right in because I have a lot to say. I have a lot that I've been researching, a lot that I've been working on and writing about identity. So I want to jump right in to the podcast so we don't waste no time. All right, so of course, we're starting with our wellness check, right? And for this wellness check, I do want to ask some questions as it relates to identity, right? Who are you right now in your life? If you were asked who you are, which identity would you lead with? Who would you say? My name is Danny, and what comes after that end? Like, who are you? Ask yourself, what part of your identity feels the loudest right now? I think if I'm answering that question, I don't know, because I feel like I try to balance them all. I don't want one of my identities to become louder than the other. And can you still recognize yourself underneath everything that life has added? And I think there is where our identity gets lost a lot. So wellness as it relates to identity, I think that I'm doing good, but I could do better, right? Because I think sometimes when I introduce myself and I say, hey, I'm Danny, and I'm a mom, and I'm an educator, I'm a podcaster, and I'm an entrepreneur, those are all the things I do. And I identify with those things. But I want my introduction to be more so, hi, my name is Danny, and I'm a lover, I'm a nurturer, I am kind, I'm warm, I'm generous, I'm humorous, right? I want those to be the things that I identify myself as. So the question for the wellness check is, who are you right now? I want y'all to leave that in the comments and let me know, okay? So, like I said, we're getting right into the honeycomb of it all, right? Right into the sticky situation. And so I want to introduce to you kind of like my theory around identity and how identity is developed. So I have this idea that identity is developed just foundationally in who you are from a young child, right? We start labeling children as soon as they come out, girl, boy, right? Like, oh, he's a crier, he's a sleeper, oh, he's a good baby, bad baby. Like, what, all these different things. We start attaching identity to children very, very young, right? And we keep it on them, right? Even they can outgrow, like even nicknames, right? Somebody could have a nickname like Chubby. Y'all calling him Chub. Been skinny all his life, right? Like, but he was a fat baby, so that's his name, and now that's the name that he has, right? So things like that, right? We tie identity to children's babies just right out the womb. And so I think that some of that, but also who we are, like innately, is developed at a young age. If you was to ask me as a kid what I wanted to be, I would have told you, and I still want to be a wife, a mother, and a teacher. I always wanted to be a wife. I always wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to be a teacher. You see that order is kind of kind of shaky, but I still always wanted to be those things and still will be those things. So I feel like those three identities were very foundational to who I wanted to be in life and who I am in life. And so if we pull back the title of wife, mother, teacher, I think at the core, I want to be a nurturer, right? I am a nurturer. And so that's why I resonated with those identities as a kid. I'm talking about I want to play house and I'm the mama and these the kids, right? I got all the baby dolls everywhere. So that's what I really wanted to do. And so I feel like that's what I'm definitely going to get in life. But that was something that was foundational to me, right? Like when I start talking about identity, I'm going to talk about identity in terms of bricks, right? And so think of Jenga, right? And think of mother being an identity brick and wife being an identity brick and teacher being an identity brick. And those are the bricks that I wanted in my life, right? And so as I grew up, I got all these other bricks, right? Some of the bricks that we get in life, some are chosen, some are given, some are earned, some are sudden, and some are evolved identities. So if we're thinking about chosen identities, we choose to be entrepreneurs, we choose to be authors, we choose to be students, right? We choose to be teacher. Well, you could choose to be a teacher. So yes, we choose certain identities. And in terms of given identities could be like a friend, right? I identify you as a friend. I gave you that title. A daughter, a sister, a mother, a cousin, right? Those are the giving identities. When we talk about earned identities, so maybe not teacher as it relates to chosen, but you do choose to be a teacher, but also someone gives you that, and so you earn that profession. So professionalism, in terms of what professions you want to go into. If you want to be an athlete, a doctor, you have to go to school and earn those things. A graduate, you have to go and earn those things. A doctorate holder, you have to go and earn those different things. So those would be considered the earned identities. And then the sudden identities. And so sudden identities can be some of the heaviest identities, but also some of the most transformational identities. Motherhood, right? If I think about how I became a mother, very sudden, right? I graduated grad school in 2016, December 2016, and I discovered I was pregnant in April 2017. 4 months. I'm thinking, and I always was somebody who struggled with identity in general because I always felt like I just want to live a life that's not tied to nothing. I don't want to be nothing. I don't want to be the student. I don't want to be the this. I don't want to be the churchgoer. I would just want to be Danni Bee, right? And I felt like I went from one identity to another one. Like I was a student. Now I'm about to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I had no time in between my identities to just be like, I'm just me. I'm just existing. I'm just here, right? I felt like it was something always tied to my name. And so sudden identities, like a caregiver, right? Somebody can become ill and now you're a caregiver. Accidents can happen and now you're a full-time caregiver, and how sudden that could be. Becoming a mother, how sudden that can be. Even for some people who get married really quickly, now you're married suddenly. Or you was married happily and then somebody came in with divorce papers, divorced suddenly. And so suddenly your life changed. Imagine being a stay-at-home mom for 16 years and then suddenly you're a single mom. Like the sudden identities, I think, are the ones that end up being more transformational than we think. And so for me, I can remember I had stacked up my identity brick so tall, right? I'm thinking I am a 2-time graduate. I got my 2 degrees. I'm about to hit the road. Like I'm about to go get my doctorate. Like I'm out here. I'm a little baby black activist. I'm in my sorority. I'm doing all the things. Like I got a little boyfriend. Like I'm just living my life, right? And my identity stack was very tall and confident, right? My bricks were stacked up. I'm like, cool. But none of my bricks held my foundational bricks, which were mother, wife, teacher, right? Those are my foundational bricks. None of the identities were wrapped in being a nurturer. And I can remember suddenly and suddenly becoming a mom, like being pregnant with Demi, and how that big mother brick sat on top of all the other bricks and knocked all them other bricks down. And and not because it was bad to become a mother or because it was about to be hard, but because when Black women specifically become mothers and caregivers and wives, that's all they be. That's all that. That's it. You a mama. How's Demi? Okay. Hey, how you doing? You know, you married. How's Tom? You okay? It's like I can't. Hi, I'm a person too. It's like you a caregiver. How your grandmother doing? How you know? It's like I have other things going on than all of these sudden identities that I came into, but also these big, thick identity bricks that now hold a huge weight, a huge responsibility in my life. And so now this brick feels suffocating. This brick feels very heavy in comparison to all of my other identities. I can't even be an entrepreneur. I can't even be a podcaster. Like let's talk about that, right? I was a podcaster. I had 2 shows. I became pregnant, and it just seemed like a hurdle, right? It seemed like, oh, I can't bring my baby to go record. I can't. Oh, I can't. It's she gonna be crying. I gotta get. I can't do that. I felt like I had to let it go, and becoming a mother, that heaviness and responsibility muted me, right? It changed the direction of my life because, like I said, I was going to get a PhD, right? And now I don't even want a PhD, right? And that's good because I don't need no more debt. But if I'm being honest, I was going to get a PhD because I was the ultimate student. I had identified with becoming a student, and that's all I know how to do because we'll have this on another episode, but education saved my life, but education was me in survival mode, right? So my identity is crumbling because this identity of being a student and being a graduate was derived out of survival. And it's all I know, but it got smacked down, right, by the motherhood brick because now you a mama. And now what? Now you was a student, but what you gonna do as it relates to you being a mama? So I had to really take some time and get myself together because that sudden identity shift really could have destroyed me. I think it just muted me because I didn't know where to go. And so oftentimes a lot of people deal with sudden identity shifts that shift the progression of their life and they don't even know it. They don't even have that wherewithal. Imagine suddenly your mother becoming ill and now you can't even pursue your career because you feel the weight of having to take care of your mother and what that can do to the progression and the development as it relates to your identity. I think that once you come to terms with the sudden identity shifts, you have a great opportunity to reclaim who you are. And I'm going to tell you about mine, right? So I talked about how this big motherhood brick came down, right? And being a single mother from when the baby is in your stomach, right? Because I became a single mother almost instantly. Another show. So I'm well now, but another show. Becoming a single mother almost instantly could have shattered me, but I had to reframe it, right? I'm a mama, but I always wanted to be a mama, right? And I thought I wanted to be a mama of many, but I only want to be a mama of one. And I'm happy with that. Like, because I don't have the other element of like being a wife, like I don't think that I should be a mother of many. I think I'm okay. If I'm a single mama, I could be a mother of one. But what I learned is that me being a mother is very natural. I do it very easily. It's I don't complain about being a mother. I complain about being a single mother. I do not complain about being a mother because I do that really well. I could do mommy in my sleep. The hardest part for me about mothering is school, and that is also another episode, okay? But I enjoy being a mother because it's so natural to me, and that had to take me back to what was foundational for me, right? So once I dusted off all the stuff that the motherhood brick did to the other identities, I laid that brick down because that brick is foundational, right? Me being a nurturer is who I am at my core, at my foundation, right? And so that's my first brick, and that's my foundational brick. And that's the brick in which I can place all the other identities that I have on, right? So you're going to put the big, thick brick on the bottom because we need a solid foundation, right? And at my core, I'm a nurturer, and that's me being a mother. And if that's my core and that's my foundation, then mothering can hold all these things, right? As a mother, I can hold the idea that I'm a graduate, that I'm an educator, that I'm an entrepreneur, that I'm a friend, that I'm a sister, that I can be anything, right? And my foundation is intact. My foundation is holding it all. My foundation is carrying it all. My foundation is connecting it all. And none of my other identities need to feel less than, right? They can be stacked up all together, right? It's like a nice Jenga. It ain't all pulled out and just shoveled, right? It's like a brand new stack before the game is played, right? Before anybody try to tug at you, right? And we're going to get to the tugging too, right? So I appreciate that I was able to come back full circle to what was foundational to me. And I'm coming back full circle to the other identities that are foundational to me because I will be a wife, right? And I am an educator. I am a teacher. People do listen to me, right? And so, and I don't have to determine which one is going to be greater than the other. And choose which identity is going to be the front runner because in a stack, they're all doing a job, right? Like one is on top of the other, one is holding the other up, one is leaning on the other, one is relying on the other, right? Like in order for me to be the entrepreneur I am, I needed to be the student that I was, right? I needed to be the graduate that I am. In order for me to be the mother that I was, I also needed to be the friend that I was. I also need to be the daughter that I was. The aunt that I was, because all of those things come into play, right? No, you can't be friends with your children, when you're raising them. But at some point, me and my daughter will be friends, right? And so how do you nurture that, right? How do you nurture the identities that will evolve? I'll always be her mother, but it will be an evolution of our relationship, right? I'll always be a teacher, but who will I be teaching? That, like, all these identities have evolutions in them, right? The mother that you were to one child, you're not going to be to another, right? And so being able to hold all of the identities in one stack and let them be equal to each other and let them resonate with one another. And even if they're contradicting, right? Still allowing them to hold space for one another. That is my identity. That is how I view identity, and that is my identity theory. I want to talk about how sometimes people. So next I want to talk about how sometimes people don't allow you to evolve in your identity, right? And they want to mess up your Jenga. They want to take it. They want to take your identity stack. They want to pull some blocks out. They want to put some blocks in. They want to put some blocks on top because they want you to be who they want you to be. And so, I am becoming right now. I am in becoming every day. And so I know that there are conversations about, well, who does she think she is, right? Or conversations about she can't be that. You know what I'm saying? Or even the idea that you got so much going on that people want to put you in the box of one identity, right? Like you can't hold the space for multiple identities. I think the idea of making children say, hey, I want to be this when I grow up is crazy to me. Because guess what? My daughter say, hey, today my favorite color is blue. By Friday, her favorite color is yellow. And then on Monday, it's green. And so don't get too attached to anything that she says as relates to her color, but also as it relates to her, she wants to have a lemonade stand. She wants to be an astronaut. She wants to be a firefighter. She also wants to be a police officer. She wants to be an influencer, right? And she can be all those things because I can hold the capacity for her. And so she will have an opportunity to be those things, right? The mono identities, right? We can be multi-identity, right? We can hold so much more than, hi, my name is Danny and I'm a podcaster. No, it's my name is Danny and I'm a podcaster and I'm a mama and I'm an educator and I'm a friend, I'm a nurturer and right? The people who like the end on the end. The people who like the end. But you can be so many things, and you don't need permission from other people to be those things. So when people try to be like, you are, no, that's who I was. No, today I am somebody new. And it's okay to be somebody new every day if you want to be. Because nothing can be recreated. Nothing can be repeated in this world. And so why do I have to keep waking up and repeating something, right? Be whoever it is that you want to be. The only challenge I have is for you to be better, no matter what. I can remember talking to my sister yesterday, and she was talking about how much she has transformed and changed. And my sister used to be someone who slept all day and was up all night. So people don't call her because they feel like she's sleeping, but they'll call her late because they'll feel like she's up. And she was like, she literally just said yesterday, who I was 6 months ago. If you knew me 6 months ago, and that's who you relying on, you don't know me. You don't know me no more because I ain't that person no more. She like, people still think I'm sleeping. She was like, God has quieted the voices. He has allowed me to rest during rest hours. You get what I'm saying? And she was like, and people still think it. And I just let them think, you know what? That's what they want to be, right? And so for me, I'm not letting nobody mess with my identity stack. You can't come and pull out no identity that you think is not who I am, right? If I say I'm a Jesus girl, I'm a Jesus girl. Now, you may have seen me doing something that was worldly, but that don't mean that I can't hold space for a Jesus girl. I'm working to be like God every day, right? Working to be like Jesus every day, right? Like, give people some grace, right? Don't hold people to who you want them to be, right? For me, my mom was the vessel that got me here, right? And I honor her, but she was never a mother to me, right? And that's okay. I'm okay. I'm totally cool with that. But that doesn't take away her identity as my mother. And I go through life and I meet women who I think they want to mother me, right? Because of the absence of my mother. And I be thinking, I don't need you to be my mama, right? I just need you to be like big homegirl, like, I don't know, big sis, I don't know, auntie, but I don't need you to be my mother because I think that I like who I am. I think I'm a great person. And I got to this point because my mother was who my mother was to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I also don't have to hold her hostage in the idea that you should be my mama. You should be my mama. No. She was the vessel that got me here. She was the vessel that brought me forth, and that was her job, and that was her assignment, and that's where I can hold her, and that's where I can have her. And so I can let her go, and I can let her spirit go because she did her job, and job well done, right? Like, job well done, okay? So I want to bring this honeycomb segment to a close because it's getting hot in here. Stack your identity up in such a way that when new bricks are introduced, they don't have the opportunity to share it down, But put it where it go. If it's foundational to you, put it down on the ground so that it can hold all the rest of the identities for you. Don't let people push over your Jenga stack. Don't let people pull and replace things. Don't let them scratch out nothing, write nothing on there. This is not no drinking game, okay? Don't let them do that. And hold all of your identities in equal quality, equal weight, because they all need each other in order for you to be who you're supposed to be. I could not be the podcaster that I am if I wasn't the mother that I am. So hold them all together because they need each other. Okay, so let's move on to the stinger. And so the question for this segment is, be honest. If the people around you weren't expecting you to stay the same, who would you allow yourself to become? And ooh, I think initially I don't know who I would allow myself to become, because I think we like to identify as a society with who people think that we are, right? Opposed to who we want to be, right? For example, if I'm known as a stylish person, then I feel like I'm always have to be on. I'm always gonna have to step. I'm always gonna have to come with the ones and twos on. I can't ever take a break. I can't never have an off moment. I can't never just chill. I always gotta perform as it relates to dressing, right? And so while that's cool, right, to be the person that's gonna always look good, that's cool. Can it be exhausting? Yes. Could you want some off days? Yes. But do you allow yourself to? No, because you think you have to live up to these other people's standards. And so I think that if I'm allowed to be who I want to be, it is not living up to the standards of others. It's just living up to like my own standards, like making myself proud every day, making my child proud every day, really chasing after God's heart, really trying to be a good person, really trying to walk in confidence. Like, I am just not trying to be who anybody wants me to be. It's only about who I want to be every day or every. Do I want to do this? Yes, I want to do this I'm doing it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and gone are the days of me being afraid of what other people think, or just that pressure. The reason the identity theory that I'm developing is so important to me is because growing up in foster care, I think that I always wanted to get to a point in life where I was stable, where I had a sense of security and stability. Like, those are the two things like I need to get to in life. I don't ever want to be homeless. So when you start saying, no, I don't want to go into a 9 to 5. I don't want to work at a building. I want to pursue my goals. I want to pursue my goals. I want to chase after my dreams. I want to be in a level of freedom as relates to work and income and things like that. People start looking at you crazy, right? Like, oh, okay, she doesn't know who she wants to be, right? But they'll also be looking at you like, ooh, she unstable, right? Also, think about if I say, I'm an author, I'm a dancer, I'm a podcaster, and I do hair, and I got a grazing business, you're going to be like, ooh, she's got a lot going on. She's all over the place, right? Oh, well. That, like, it used to hold me back. It used to hold me down. It used to stagnate me, right? Like, I don't want to be known as all these different things because I need them to know who I am. When I don't know who I am, right? It's crazy, right? But now that I do know who I am, my mental capacity to hold all of who I am, baby, my hands is full, okay? My hands is full. I got 2 hands for a reason, right? I can hold all of me. I can hold an idea on each finger. I got 10, right? I can hold income on each finger. I got 10, right? And that's how I feel about myself. So back to the singer question. I think that we should get away from any idea of who others are allowing you to be, and challenge that with, who are you allowing yourself to be? You know, like, who are you allowing yourself to be? Okay, time for the throwback segment. It's something to brag about. And that segment, this week, I got a question. And it's still gonna be something to brag about, but it's going to have a question, because I think that depending on the topic, we can have a question. All right. So, what is something about the person you're becoming that you're proud of? Like, what's something about you that you are proud of as it relates to who you're becoming? For me, I am very proud, and like, this is just something that has hit me within the last couple of days, and so I'm super proud of this for myself. But it is, I am able to appreciate and hold all the things that other people have for me when I didn't have it for myself. Someone just texted me recently and was like, I'm just so proud of you, and I just see you doing your thing, and I just want you to know I never not seen you shine. And I met her in 2018. I was like, ooh. In 2018, I was dusty. Like, as relates to my light was dusty. I was never a dusty person. Just want to clear that up. But my light was dim, was low. It was dusty. I was like, you never not seen me shine in 2018? I'm thinking, and we only worked together for a short period of time, but her saying that was just like, it reaffirmed everything that I was thinking in terms of who I am now. I have the capacity to hold all the things that people have for me all this time. Like, I'm so glad that they had it for me, because I didn't have it for myself. But that is the power of community and manifestation and love, right? That's that power of people being able to hold something for you until you ready to get it. I got it now. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I got it now. I'm super, super proud that I got it now. And can't nobody take that from me. That I can hold what people have been holding all these years. So, in closing, I want to give you guys a permission slip. And that permission slip is permission to meet yourself again. You get permission to introduce to yourself who you are becoming, who you are today. You don't need permission, though, right? You just got to believe that you are better than yesterday and that you're doing better than yesterday. But I encourage you to reintroduce yourself to yourself. Who are you today? Who do you want to be tomorrow? Permission to live in all the identities that you want and hold them together and be proud of them and not let one identity smother you and hold you down. Okay? So I give you permission to figure out who you are and love on that person. Thank you.